Hello, family. Welcome to day 4 aboard Carnival Venezia. I'm so sad that it's almost over. Tomorrow is debarkation day, but I'm going to get as much out of my day as possible. And so I'm going to go a little later and have lunch. I am going to eat and review the Guy's Burgers. There's 2 new burgers, I guess Italian style, that they have on Carnival Venezia that you should not see on any other ships unless it's this class of ship. And so I'm going to review those. There's a Q&A session with the cruise director, which I love going to because you really get to see their personality. I'm going to decide what I'm going to do for dinner tonight. I'm not really sure. And there's a show playlist production show going on tonight as well, and in between there I'll just figure out what I would like to do. Hey family, as you come along with me on this journey, can you do me a favor if you have not done so? Can you like, comment, subscribe, click on the notification bell to be informed of future posts? It will greatly help my channel, and guess what, it is free of charge to do so. And so let's go. Day 4, Carnival Venezia. Fam, I'm here on the balcony just trying to enjoy my balcony. It's a little bit cold, but I'm just trying to enjoy the last day of my balcony. And so I went to the Q&A session with Marq QA, and great responses. He's a great cruise director. If you ever have him, let me know if you've ever had him, but he is just so great as a cruise director, full of energy, full of life. And so I'm getting ready to show you that. Later on, I am going to have dinner. I decided I'm just going to finalize and just have my last dinner to be at Bonsai Sushi. Then I'm going to go to Epic Rock. This is the playlist production tonight. And after Epic Rock, I'm going to go to the 80s party and kind of finish off the night, you know, do the things that you need to do on the last night, pack, you know, get my stuff together so I don't have to hurry up and do everything in the morning. And so let me show you right now the question and answer session with the one and only Marq QA, Carnival Venezia.
Where do you sleep?
Where
do you sleep?
I sleep in a bed when I get off the ship. Oh, when do I sleep? September 8th. That's when I'll sleep. Yeah. Good question though. I'm hearing it's very exciting when I get to it. So. What's up, Red?
How many are on the ship, and does your entertainment change depending on how full the ship is?
Does our entertainment change and how many people are on the ship? Not really. The entertainment changes more so based upon how long the cruise is than it actually changes based upon how many people are on the ship. So different lengths of cruise mean like we have a different amount of time. So there's sometimes that we have to offer more or less programming. Sometimes it's the demographic that we have on board that we have to like change up the program. So we might do more arts and crafts versus dance classes or something like that. So yeah, it just that would be more the way that we change up the programming instead of like the actual amount of people. And right now we've got 4,770 people on the ship. A guest.
Wow.
So
Amongst the crew, do you do anything to celebrate major holidays?
amongst the crew, do we do anything to celebrate major holidays? Absolutely. One of the cool things is we've got what's called a fun activities team, and they are the ones that kind of come together to put the excitement together for us as team members. So we do different like crew parties.
Nice. Come here.
We do different crew parties. We do like crew bingo. We have a couple of months. No, last month we did a dodgeball tournament that I got to host. So yeah, it's a whole bunch of different things. But when it comes down to it, there's always options for like the celebrations and the holiday times. But it also stems from like the team members being able to request a lot of those kind of things. Because, for example, I wouldn't want necessarily somebody to try to put together like a Christmas party, but like not know anything about it. So then we would have like all the wrong things. So it'd be like us to be able to say like, oh, this would be really great things to be able to be a part of it. So, yeah. So, what's up, Paul?
Hey, scariest moments and funniest moments on the ship.
Scariest / funniest moments?
And funniest moments on the ship.
Scariest moment I think on the ship was when Sinclair woke up without makeup and she came out of her cabin. That was like the scariest moment. I'm kidding! Stop! That's not.
There's a new scary moment for you.
That was a scary moment, yeah. I don't think I've ever moved that fast in my life. I think the scariest moments are like when I get a call from like the medical team. That's usually pretty scary. Or if I get a call from the bridge. Oh, you know what? No, I lied. The scariest moment is when I hear the bum, 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 and it's not me pushing the button. Because my heart always drops as to what are going to be the words that follow that, because I just never know. And I have dealt with like fires on the ship that I like had to be on the bridge for, and those moments are very scary. I had one at 5 o'clock in the morning. So that one was like, I was like knocked out because my body actually stopped functioning for a few minutes. I don't know if that's what you were referring to. And all of a sudden it's like, I hear this like first stage response right over me, and I was like, and had to go running up the flights of stairs to get to the bridge and deal with that. So that was pretty scary. But I think probably like the one that I would say was also, it was one of the scariest, but also one of the funniest as I look back at it, was I was on the Carnival Magic. And the Magic is it's similar to like the layout like this, but it's also kind of different. So I was part of the fun squad at this time, and this was my first contract on ships. And I was about a month and a half into my contract. And we were in Ocean Plaza, which is on the Magic, it's in the middle of the ship. And on the outside of Ocean Plaza is the lanai, which is the kind of like the outside walking area that we have on 5. However, on the Magic, there are 2 hot tubs on both sides. Okay, remember that. So I'm doing trivias and everything's fine, and all of a sudden, like the sky is getting really gray around us, and I was like, okay. And about 30 minutes later, it's basically like pitch black outside. And I was like, oh gosh, okay. So about 20 minutes later, all of a sudden the ship starts to list. Now, what is a list? A list is when the ship is like in its upright position, and then all of a sudden we hit the gangster. And I'm not talking about just like a sway. I'm talking about like when we're like held on the side. And I look over, and as I look over, all I saw was water. There was no more blue. And I was like, oh no. And all of a sudden everyone's like, are we okay? And I was like, yeah, it happens all the time. Right? Because like I'm the voice of calm. So if I start to panic, all of a sudden everybody else is going to start to panic. So all of a sudden, funny enough, what's on the outside of the Ocean Plaza?
The hot tub.
Hot tubs. They overflowed and now puddled at the door. The doors on the Magic are sliding and automated ones. So if somebody walked by, the doors opened and water now came rushing through Ocean Plaza. So now I've got water inside of a cruise ship that's on a lean, and now I got people slipping and sliding, people starting to panic, and I'm on the microphone being like, it's okay everybody, take a deep breath, it's okay. In the meanwhile, I'm like, get to the lifeboats! So,
I'm sure it wouldn't be that funny at that time.
yeah, no, that was probably like the scariest, but also like the funniest as I look back at it, because it was only like It was only like 30 seconds, but it felt like 4 hours. So yeah, that was a struggle. Yeah. Did I see somebody upstairs? There we go. Hi, love. Nice and loud for me. What's my favorite thing about this boat? I think, obviously there's some things that we're still figuring out and that we're kind of working with, but I think this ship is like decorated beautifully. I love, like, I know that this might be not necessarily the most popular vote, but I really actually enjoy the look of the Lido deck. Let me throw it out there. For those of you that don't know, this ship was designed for the Asian market. It came from Costa, and we like inherited her into our fleet. So, as the Asian demographic don't really spend time outside, that's why this Lido deck is not built like our standardized Lido, because it's not Carnival's design of what the Lido looks like. So it's very different, right? We've got the dome, which actually, for like this weather lately, hallelujah, right? It's been kind of nice. But like looking at it aesthetically and having like this Italian flair, having this like Italian flair of like the balcony that kind of comes in a little bit with like the coffee shop that's like that big, and like how like beautiful. I think that that's probably like my favorite thing is it's just really, really pretty. So yeah. I think that, and the fact that like being the inaugural cruise director for this ship and like being able to bring this ship to like its first voyages and like figuring out these little details has been incredible, but also doing it with the team of Fun Squad that I've done it with is like the best highlight and the coolest thing I could have ever asked for. So shout outs to the Fun Squad. Yeah, that's what I asked. Yeah. What did I do before I worked on a cruise ship? Yeah. I did kind of a little bit of everything. So as I'm sure you have noticed, I don't do well sitting still very long. My ADHD kicks in. So I worked for aquatics. I was an aquatic supervisor overseeing 3 water parks and a beach. I also worked at the Science Museum of Minnesota. I worked for Hand and Physical Therapy. I worked at the Mall of America for a little while. Yeah, it's a good spot. Yeah, it's a visit. Yeah. And then one of my biggest things was I was a stage manager at a children's theater for 13 years.
Favorite thing about being a cruise director, and how many times has Oliver been fired and rehired?
Say that one more time. My favorite thing is being a cruise director.
And how many times has Oliver been fired and rehired?
Oh, how many times has Oliver been fired and rehired? Oliver, do you know how many times you've been fired and rehired? You lost track. Yeah, me too. Yeah. It's pretty frequent. Yeah, it's pretty frequent. Yeah. But at the same time, this is actually the second contract that I've worked with Oliver, the second ship that I've worked with Oliver. We were on the Dream together in 2022. Yeah, 2022, and now here on the Venezia of 23. So, yeah. So we got more times to be fired. Get it together. Yeah. And favorite thing about being a cruise director? I was just actually having this conversation with someone last night, and the one thing that I like take away from this was not something I ever expected. When I signed up to be able to be a part of like being on ships, I thought it was going to be a chance for like me to explore the world and like me to have fun in the process and then like just be silly and wild. But I never expected that I was gonna have the potential impact to as many people for vacation, and what that's come to look like in my eyes is that I don't know why people come to cruise, and I don't know what you're maybe stepping out of what reality looks like on a normal day today. But to know that I have a chance to, for 4 days, make excitement happen, make fun happen, and just give crazy energy to like bring good times, and to know that that's pulling some people away from headache and stress and sometimes, you know, potential life and death moments. It's or even like recovery. I think that's the coolest thing that's come out of this position that I never anticipated is that I love them most. So, yeah. Hi, love.
How long was your COVID pause, and what did you do during your pause?
So, the COVID story. So, I was on the Carnival Liberty when everything went down, and we weren't getting a lot of information, right? Because we're floating out in the middle of the sea, and a lot of it was unknown, and our shore side was trying to figure out what was going on, just like everybody else in the rest of the world. And so when COVID ended up by stopping us, we ended up by sitting next to the dock. We were in Orlando, and we were sitting next to the pier for like 5 days, and then we had to go float for 14 days. And I'm not gonna lie, we had the best time ever. Oh my gosh, it was great. So we would spend the day basically like getting everything organized, restocking everything. You know, like they were doing a lot of maintenance around the ship, and everything was getting pretty. But then at night, we pulled the musicians up. We had like crew bar open. We were watching movies. We were having a great time because we didn't realize what the severity of the situation was, because we were really confused as we were looking at like social media, and everybody was like, oh my gosh, it's a respiratory situation. We don't know what's going on. But everybody was worried about toilet paper. So we, like, to the outside eye, that was what it was, right? So we were so confused. So we were having a good time. And then what got really scary was when they had said, okay, this pause is going to be longer than the 30 days that we had anticipated. So when that happened, they said anybody that was non-essential to the ship was basically going to get sent home. So entertainment are obviously here for the guest experience, so we were the first ones. So as an American, I was one of the first ones to get out of here, and particularly because the border for me to get home was not closed. However, so many of my teammates, their borders were already closed, so they had to be forced to stay on the ship, and that was scary. So one of the struggles was Carnival ended up by working with local authorities, and basically everybody said, unless you are able to get them a direct flight to get them home, they're not coming here. So Carnival thought about it, and what they did was they pulled in 19 of our ships from all the places that we visit and that we go, and they brought them to the Bahamas, just off of Nassau and Freeport area, and using 9 of our ships, we ended up by moving teammates from ship to ship to ship to ship, and actually using the ships as vessels to go around the world and bring our teammates home. Yeah.
Okay. What a full night it has been. I went to dinner, as I said, at Bonsai Sushi. So what did I have at Bonsai Sushi? I started off with the miso soup. And so the miso soup was delicious to me. I would give it a 4 out of 5. I just felt like it probably needed a little bit of pepper. So like if it had like some red pepper flakes, but it was really delicious. It was really flavorful, and I so enjoyed the miso soup. And then I decided to do 2 rolls, the shrimp tempura roll and the California roll. Both of them to me was 5 out of 5. The California roll had actual real crab in it. You know, a lot of times California rolls has imitation crab. So the California roll has real crab in it. Because of the ginger, because of the wasabi, you know, that wasabi will clear out your sinuses. Those give it elevated flavor as well as with the soy sauce. And so definitely 5 out of 5 for the California roll. The shrimp tempura roll was very delicious. The shrimp wasn't overcooked. It was flavorful on top of the addition of the ginger, the wasabi, and the soy sauce. And so 5 out of 5. It was a good meal. And definitely I would go back to Bonsai Sushi. Then we had Epic Rock. And after Epic Rock was the 80s party. And so I'm going to show you some footage from the Epic Rock playlist production, and then also from the 80s party. It was such fun. And I am going to wish you farewell. Thank you for coming to see day 4 Carnival Venezia. I will do a vlog for day 5, and I will kind of break down what I thought about Carnival Venezia, what I thought about the cruise director in general, what was my experience, as well as give you some things of what I'm doing tomorrow morning before I get off the ship. So stay tuned for day 5. But in the meantime, Epic Rock and the 80s party. Thank you for coming.
If you don't know the words, make them up. We say, take my hand, we'll make it elsewhere. Guys. Okay, much better. Now here's what's about to happen. These two were deemed as the best Egyptian walkers. So they're about to go a little old school and do an Egyptian walk-off. The side that has the most school spirit is going to be winning a huge prize. Okay? So I need to know, Team Jonathan, are you ready?